good? Y'all, welcome back. And today we finna be reacting to suspects casually describes every detail of the, does that say gruesome act? Gruesome act? I don't know. While police try not to lose it. And I already know y'all finna be clowning, bro, but hey, play the video.
In the middle of the night in a quiet neighborhood in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the mother of 24-year-old Shad Therian heads down to her son's basement bedroom. She just heard his girlfriend leave and noticing that his light is still on.
Okay.
She heads down to check in on him. But she doesn't make it all the way into his room.
Okay.
Before she gets there, she notices a bucket at the foot of the basement stairs. She knows it doesn't belong there, and the towel placed precariously over it seems out of place as well. She lifts the towel to see what's inside, but it's not at all what she expects or wants to see. She screams up to her boyfriend, who comes down and witnesses the horror inside the bucket for himself, then calls 911.
What?
I have no clue what's happening. My girl swears that she's found her severed head of her son in the basement.
Did you go down there?
Kind of a little freaked out.
Law enforcement is dispatched to the home, but not even they will be prepared for what they're
She found the head of her son in a bucket?
about to discover at the house, or once they track down one of the most despised criminals in the state's history.
What? In Green Bay?
Welcome back to Crime A to Z, where we detail cases and criminals from their very beginning until well after other reporting ends. Honestly, we don't have words strong enough to describe today's chilling case, so we're just going to dive right in so you can see for yourself how a person can devolve from someone so seemingly normal.
Look, she
to the
looks so
embodiment
pretty
of pure
too. Look what she looks, bro, crazy,
complete
nigga,
evil.
crazy.
And before we get started, if you end up liking how we present this case, we'd love it if you could quickly give us a like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you. Let's go.
Look pretty too. She chopped his head off though? What? Are you kidding me? How can you do that as a woman?
Taylor Denise Coronado was born on November 23rd, 1997 to parents Marla and Arturo Coronado.
Okay.
The family originally resided in Evanston, Illinois, but eventually moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Green Bay.
Growing up in Green
Shout out
Bay,
to Pat, nigga.
Taylor faced a lot of challenges in her childhood, including both losses and a less than ideal home environment.
RP.
When she was 12 years old, her mother died from liver cirrhosis, a result of her alcoholism. With Taylor, her brother, and her father left aggrieved, Taylor's behavior deteriorated at school, and by 7th grade, she began receiving therapy. At some point during high school, she was expelled for fighting and would ultimately move to Texas to live with her grandparents to finish out her senior year. It's not clear whether she successfully graduated or not. A few years after she'd been sent to live with her grandparents, Taylor's father, Arturo, was arrested back in Wisconsin. He would eventually be tried and convicted of second-degree sexual assault of a child, receiving a 12...
He did what? Bro, how do you niggas... It's so many niggas in this world that try to touch kids. It's crazy. I can't even speak on some shit I seen before. I ain't even gonna speak on it. I seen some shit with my own eyes, nigga. I can't even say. I'm just gonna play the video, bro.
12-year sentence. But Taylor was moving on with her life. The same year her father was arrested, 2018, she met a man named Warren Chabot.
And she not ugly. She not ugly. She just crazy as hell. She chopped the nigga head off. Like.
The young couple hit it off, committed to the point of getting their names tattooed to each of their necks.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And in 2020, they got married and both had their last names legally changed to Shabusiness.
Okay.
The pair relocated several times within Texas. Then
who would change their last name to Shoe Business? Who the fuck are you? What?
Ultimately moved back to Green Bay, where Taylor was originally from.
The Pack.
She tried to earn money by creating and selling crafts like dream catchers and jewelry, and also by making a plea for financial support.
I ain't gonna knock you. Do your business. Make your shit.
Hi, I'm Taylor Business, and I'm a very hardworking, dedicated
She
individual.
seems so sweet.
That's broke and really needs money to...
She seems so sweet. So sweet, bro. Looks can kill, bro. That's why that's why I've been through like looks out of the bag, bro. I've been through looks. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Obviously, we obviously all want somebody that looks beautiful. Whether you say, it doesn't matter to me or not, nigga, you want somebody that look beautiful. But that's not what matters. The outside is not what matters. It's what's in here, and what's in here especially. Because you're a psycho. You're a sicko. I don't want to die.
Help get that swole on. So if you could please donate to this
low-key
GoFundMe page.
I low-key can see the evil within her, though. The evil within. You see what I did there? But no. Okay, look. I can see the shit within her, but she's still pretty. I'm not gonna lie.
Be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Fast
She
teams
looks so
need
pretty.
a fast CRM.
But I can
That's
see it, and I can
Monday
feel
CRM.
it, especially.
It all started with
That
the
gut
quickest
feeling,
onboarding
bro. The
I've
gut
seen.
feeling is the best thing, fool.
Both
If you
Taylor
feel in your
and
gut-
Warren had their share of run-ins with the law. In 2020, Taylor was arrested for battery, threatening an officer, and resisting arrest. She pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 3 years of probation, along with 60 days in jail. But she had no interest in actually serving those 60 days and skipped bail.
Damn.
Then, when she was arrested again for skipping bail, resisting arrest again, and being in possession of drug paraphernalia and other charges,
Okay.
despite it all, Taylor was only given additional probation and not required to serve any time.
What?
Warren's run-in with the law was also drug-related. In 2021, he was arrested for conspiracy to distribute methamphetamines and sentenced to 2 years in prison. And, not being shy about his arrest, Warren Shabiznis, or Shabizniz, as he misspelled it on his profile, took to Facebook to try to clear his name, claiming, "I'm locked up on federal charges because I was framed." He goes on to explain how he pled to a deal, and that
What is he
people should
talking about?
plan on Warren Shabiznis to be out soon.
Like, this
In
nigga's
October of
just saying
2021,
shit.
shortly before Warren was arrested, the couple welcomed a son that they named Mateo. With her husband behind bars and life's events continuing to spiral downward, including the devastating blow of her brother being killed in a motorcycle accident in 2022, Taylor continued to abuse drugs, and she would ultimately cross paths with Shad Therian, a longtime friend who she had previously dated back in high school. Shad Therian was born on September 7th, 1997, to parents Tara Pakinich and Michael Therian.
Okay.
The couple also had 3 other children, 2 daughters, and 1 son. Growing up in Green Bay, Shad was a kind, caring, and artistic young man who loved wood carving and being outdoors, especially camping. He attended the same high school that Taylor attended in Green Bay, Bayport High School. Afterward, he worked with his father and grandfather in the family business while taking on projects like wood carving on the side. While all of his friends and family passionately vouched for the good-natured,
He looked like that one nigga from the movie, bro. I can't even, bro.
kind, and gentle person that Shad was, he had encountered a minor run-in with the law as well.
Damn.
In October of 2021, he was
All these
arrested
niggas
for
going to
disorderly
jail.
conduct and resisting arrest. And then he somehow found himself down the wrong path and entangled with the married Taylor. Shad and Taylor entered into a sexual relationship, and as they began spending more and more time together, it's reported that Shad became enamored with her and was interested in a serious relationship.
Okay.
But with Taylor both being married and having a child, and
You can't
also
do
only
that.
being interested in a casual fling, she had no interest in their relationship being serious.
Wait, so she was married? Whoa. She was married and had a child, and she was fucking this nigga. Wow. Wait, play it back. Is that what he said?
More time together, it's reported that Shad became enamored with her and was interested in a serious relationship.
Okay.
But with Taylor both being married and having a child, and also only being interested in a casual fling, she had no interest in their relationship being serious.
So she just is getting
The pair
fucked
continued
on.
hanging out, and it was
Fucking.
on one typical
Fucking.
cold and snowy
They wasn't hanging out. They was fucking. You can just say it. Ain't no kids watching. They was fucking.
Wisconsin winter day that the relationship took a turn for the worst.
What happened?
Taylor was hanging out with another male friend, and the two of them picked up Shad before heading to Taylor's apartment, where the 3 of them began using multiple types of drugs, working their way up from marijuana to the harder stuff, including methamphetamines. The friend
What is
eventually
wrong
left,
with y'all?
and Shad and Taylor headed to Shad's mother's home, where he had a bedroom in the basement. Shad's mother knew Taylor, and she could hear the couple down in the basement, so she knew they were home. As the evening rolled around, she and her partner left for an evening out at about 9:30 p.m. When she and her partner returned home at about 2 a.m., everything appeared normal. So they headed to bed. Around 3 a.m., Shad's mother was awakened by a door slamming and a car driving away, which she assumed was Taylor leaving. So she got up and headed down to the basement to check on Shad. When she got to the top of the basement stairs, she could see that a light was on in the basement, so she headed down. When she reached the bottom of the stairs, she noticed a bucket. It was covered by a towel. The bucket wasn't normally there and seemed extremely out of place. so she lifted the towel to see what was inside. She didn't know what she was expecting to see.
What?
But it definitely was not that. She yelled for her partner to come down. He did, then called 911.
Okay, tell me what's happening there again.
I have no clue what's happening with my girl. Swears that she's found her severed head of her son in the basement in a bucket.
Did you go down there?
I went down. I can't tell what the part of my language. I'm kind of a little freaked out.
So she chopped his head off and threw it in a bucket at her mama crib. That is fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Shad's mother joins in on the call.
Hello?
Hi, Kara. So can you tell me what's going on?
Pretty positive my son's head is in a bucket, right on the bucket in my basement.
What makes you think that?
The cops be asking stupid questions. I just said I found my son heads in a bucket, and you talking about some, what makes you think that? My nigga, it's my son. I see his head in a bucket. What are you talking about? Like, these cops be so dumb, bro.
Bucket.
What did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
Where's the rest of the body at?
No idea.
When's the last?
Where is the rest of the body? Hey, did I say I found his body or did I say I found the head? Stop asking me more running questions, bro.
time you saw your son?
Well, I guess today is Wednesday, so I picked him up from his dad on Monday. He was here a couple hours.
I feel so bad for the mom,
with
too, bro.
Taylor.
Who's that?
Taylor Coronado.
You know how to spell the last name?
Police arrived about 10 minutes later.
Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the f is, man. I had bad vision, and she's like, is that what I think it is? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck it is.
Do you want to stay with those two? I'll just go see it.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
So right there. Look right. There's a bucket.
I feel so bad for the mom, too. Life
Too
is
quiet?
crazy, bro.
Boost your volume by up to
Life is
600%
crazy,
with Load
dude.
Max. Installing.
Like, real nigga shit, life is so crazy, bro. Life is so crazy, bro. You never know. You never know when it's your time. When your luck is out. When it's that final, when it's your final destination, shit. When it's your final time. Your final whatever. You never know, nigga. This could be your last day. I hope it's not, though.
The couple lead them to the basement, where at the bottom of the stairs there is indeed a bucket. The officers lift the towel themselves to reveal the severed head and male genitalia. They call for backup.
What?
I know you're busy over there, but this is actually what it's going to be. It's not going to be a 961 thing or a 96 thing, so we're going to need more units here.
A bit in shock, they're not quite certain whether what they're seeing is actually real.
That's real, right?
She cut off his meat. And she cut off his head.
Horrified, they escalate the call for backup.
If we could get more units here sooner rather than later, that'd be appreciated.
Police proceed to Shad's bedroom. There, it's evident that something brutal has taken place. There are knives, a blood-soaked mattress, a male torso inside of a storage tote, body fluid, and numerous body parts, randomly distributed throughout the room in various bags.
Did she chop him
including
up
in
with,
plastic shopping bags?
She chopped his body up fully and left it at the mama crib. You're a sicko. You're a psychopath. Be careful who you mess with.
Police head for Taylor's home. Outside her apartment, they find the van she was driving, along with what appeared to be bloody footprints leading from it.
Is this blood? Does this look like blood to you?
You're the cop.
I'm just tripping.
Ask me
Bloody
for.
footprint? You see this?
I swear, these cops in these movie cops be so stupid, bruh. Like, they act just like they do in the movies. It's just blood. Nigga, you're the cop. You tell me. I know you got some gadgets in your freaking... You got something to see if it's blood, bro. You're asking me, a civilian. Do your job. Or I'm going to do it for you. You don't deserve that badge.
As they tried getting a closer look at the footprints, Taylor herself emerged from her apartment.
Hi, Taylor. How's it going? Officer Russell with the Green Bay Police Department. Just make sure you ain't got nothing on you here.
There was blood on her sweatshirt and blood and scratches on her hands. Officers search her van,
Did you see
and
her
sweatshirt, and blood and scratches.
Dude, that's not a stretch. That's a cut. She cut her own hand, cutting this nigga up.
On her hands. Officers search her van and find Shad's leg in a crock-pot box. It's off to the station with Taylor. At the police station, Taylor...
Oh my God. So not only did she do the crime, she's an idiot. She's an idiot. How you gonna pop out knowing you got all the stuff on you, bro? His leg in the car, his head in a bucket. You're chopping them up into pieces, and you just pop out when the cops right there and expect nothing to happen? You're gone.
Business initially claims to have blacked out during the attack.
Can you tell me what happened?
It's a good question, because I blacked out during that time.
And when they told her that they found Shad's head in a bucket, she responded,
A few hours ago, police were dispatched to an address on Stony Brook. Well, they found a kind of disturbing stuff at the house there. A lot of blood. Basically Shad's head.
And then she has a revelation.
You did it!
Damn, the head. Yeah, I can't believe I left the head though.
Police continue what was less like an
She said what?
Yeah.
I left the head. I can't believe I left the head. What? She's crazy, bro.
Police continue what was less like an interrogation and more like a free-flowing faucet of increasingly gory events.
She admitted.
Show business volunteers in graphic and disturbing detail how the couple's drug-fueled sex turned into a bloody, savage murder, dismemberment, and everything in between. Drug-fueled
sex. Stop doing drugs.
And disturbing detail how the couple's drug-fueled sex turned into a bloody, savage murder, dismemberment, and everything in between. They didn't have to pull hard to extract any of the details. She delighted in retelling every bit of it.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is
Do you
what I
mind
want?
getting the fuck off
With
my train,
links,
dude?
You can.
Damn.
She explained how she and Shad had been doing drugs earlier in the day. She told police that while they were in Shad's basement bedroom, they were about to become intimate when Shad brought out 2 metal chains. One for him, and one for her.
No.
She said that it wasn't unusual for their intimate encounters to involve for him, and one about to become intimate when Shad brought out 2 metal chains.
See, and I don't even play like that, bro. See, you're not gonna tie me up. I'm not gonna tie you up. We just gonna do it regular. We just gonna do it regular. You're not tying me up. I'm not tying you up. I'm a freak. I'm gonna be honest, but I'm not into that type of stuff. That's a different culture. Y'all can try that, bro. Not me. No. What's up? We back hardcore. I'm going gore. Hardcore. I'm going gore. Hardcore. I'm going gore.
One for him, and one for her.
See, they freaky.
She said that it wasn't unusual for their intimate encounters to involve strangulation. So on this occasion, their intimacy involved chains around each of their necks, which Taylor described as being similar to dog choke collars.
So you like choking? I mean, no, okay. I can't even shame you, because I like choking. Oh yeah, believe it. I like choking. Believe it. But I don't want no female to choke me. Get your hands off of me. I do the choking. What are you talking about? You stay there and take it. I'm not finna. No. You're tripping. You're tripping.
She calmly recounted how, once they were about to become intimate and Shad put the chain around his neck, she just went crazy, strangling him.
What were you thinking?
I was gonna do the same thing. You know, I was going in, and I did. And I went in. But then he was like, choke me. But he didn't really say it, so I'm like, he put it on his neck. I already know I'm gonna choke him. And I did. He likes it.
Alright.
And I was gonna walk him like a dog.
And he wanted that?
I have no idea, but I was gonna do it anyway.
Despite Shad struggling, scratching at her, his face turning purple and blood coming from his mouth, she said that she wanted to see what would happen if she continued choking him. So, she choked him even harder. She said that she could still feel his heart beating, so she kept pulling and choking him harder. She said that he just would not die, but she would eventually succeed in choking 24-year-old Shad Therian to death.
She crazy.
She explained to detectives what her thoughts were while she did it.
If
She
there's
crazy.
black on like shit. Like he was coughing up blood. I'm like, I don't know. I just kept on going. Like, damn. Sorry.
Fucking lunatic.
You made the comment. You said that when you were choking him, he was coughing up blood. You kind of were like, going this far, I'm just going to keep going. Did you realize that by continuing that may kill him?
Like, yeah, because I felt bad because I'm like, damn, he's going to be losing that thing. So I'm like, man, I just kill it.
Did you want Chad to be dead?
No, it was out of random. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
You wasn't expecting him to die, but you choked him with a doggy chain around his neck until he turned purple. And you said to yourself, oh, how's he still breathing? How's his heart still pumping? What are you talking? How did you not want him to die? What are you? I don't know. I don't know.
And it kind of threw me off guard.
She even acknowledged that she enjoyed doing it.
You enjoyed? Bro, I'm playing the game.
Enjoyed it, right? And I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. What'd you enjoy about that?
Just...
Was it kind of thrilling, a rush, exciting? What was the feeling that you got out of it?
That's all it is. I don't know.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand what you were feeling. You're saying that you enjoyed it. Did it make you happy? Was it just kind of exciting? Like opening Christmas presents? Or?
I don't know.
Here's paper and here's a pen and you should write it down. That's cool. Steel Hunters is a new Mac hero shooter for PC that you should try.
Get the fuck up off my stream, bro.
Like, this is the thing that I have, like, I've always had, like, you ever love something so much that you kill it? Like, it happens to me. That's the feeling that I have.
You ever love something so much that you killed it? What is this lady saying right now? This bitch is overstimulating my brain. I don't understand what are you talking. I'm really confused. What? How do you love someone so much you kill it? What? Stop talking.
I love something so much that I kill it.
She said it again.
And then I kill it. That's what happens to me.
But her callous, violent act was only the beginning. Once Shubusiness had murdered Shad, she went upstairs to his mother's kitchen and got several kitchen knives. With Shubusiness continuing to smirk, laugh, and express delight as she detailed her gruesome acts, she explained how she began dismembering him. She started with his head, which she claimed was her favorite part.
So we're gonna take the head somewhere?
I like that.
After she had murdered Shad, she proceeded to decapitate him with the butter knives from his mother's kitchen. Once she had removed his head, Shubusiness cuddled his headless corpse for 2 to 3 hours. She then dismembered him while simultaneously engaging with his different severed body parts in ways that we will not describe. When officers asked her when she started dismembering Shad's body, she couldn't recall.
But when did you start, cutting up his body?
Like almost right away, I was and cutting at the same time.
They ask her where all the other body parts are.
So you dismembered the body too?
Yeah.
Well, what did you do with the body parts?
Oh, they're in the house. I know, I forgot the head. I wanted the head.
Did you bring anything with you?
Yeah, it's in the van.
What?
It's in the van. It's I think it's a foot.
A foot in the van?
Maybe.
She just openly saying this. Oh yeah, I killed him, chopped his body up. There's some sick ass people in this world, bro. Be careful who you be around. Be careful who you even speak to. You got to be careful nowadays. It's big 25. You want to You want to live for longer and see more. Stay away from weirdos.
She told the officers that they were going to have fun trying to find all of the organs. Along with his scattered body parts, they would also find his heart in one location and his lungs in another. By the time she was finished, Shubusiness had worn the knives down to their nubs. She claimed that the reason she dismembered him was because she knew that she had to get rid of the body to avoid being caught, but she wouldn't be able to remove him on her own, whole. So she cut him into smaller parts. When she was done, despite her plan to take his entire body with her, she said that she got lazy and only managed to take one of his legs. She had especially looked forward to taking his head and genitalia. That's why she put it in a bucket at the base of the stairs. But in her drug-induced state, she forgot to take it with her. 25-year-old Taylor Shubusiness was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault for the acts she performed on Shad's corpse. Given that she had previously skipped bail as well as the seriousness of her crime, she was held on $2 million bail. Despite having confessed to her crimes in graphic detail, a not guilty plea was entered on her behalf by the court. Her trial was set for later that year in October 2022. But a month before the trial was to begin, her attorney added not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect to her plea, which meant that her trial would be delayed since she would need to be evaluated before trial.
What do you mean not guilty? You just explain to me how you chopped them up. Jason Voorhees. You Jason Voorhees out here and you talking about some not guilty. What do these people be thinking?
By November, the court ruled that she was competent to stand trial. But her defense team was persistent. Prior to the trial, they made numerous attempts to have her declared mentally impacted at the time of the offense and presently. But law enforcement testified that Shabiznis had not shown any signs of psychosis or delusions. They noted that she was calm, coherent, and involved at all points of the arrest, interrogation, and beyond. They testified about how she was even able to accurately recount every detail of her murderous actions during her interrogations, all of which were consistent with the evidence. But Shabiznis was still not going down without a fight, literally. During a hearing in February of 2023, Shabiznis' attorney asked the judge to allow 2 more weeks for a scheduled defense expert to complete his report. Then, to everyone's surprise, Shabiznis conveniently and perhaps deliberately exhibited the not-so-stable behavior of attacking her own attorney. She took an elbow to his head before sheriff's officers were able to stop the attack and get her calmed down. They sat her against a door as the situation de-escalated. The courtroom...
Oh, so it's actually something mentally wrong with her, fool. Oh. It's something mentally wrong with... Okay, now I feel bad.
...was cleared and Shabiznis was ultimately let out. The attack did not help her cause. She was still determined to be mentally competent to stand trial. It did, however, make her short 1 defense attorney. It also earned her a couple of full-time escorts and handcuffs shackled at her waist during the hearing to rule on her attorney's resulting request to withdraw from the case. His request was granted. Shabiznis got a new attorney who fought one last time to have her deemed incompetent to stand trial. He claimed that the psychological evaluation from November of the prior year was out of date. The defense hired a forensic psychologist to interview and analyze Shabiznis, but Shabiznis refused to meet with her for months, and when she tried, Shabiznis threw a chair at her. Then, a week before the actual trial was to begin, the judge granted the defense's final request for a competency hearing.
Too quiet? Turn your sound from 100% to 600% with loud
Dude, this
max.
man is spamming the ads, bro.
The forensic psychologist had finally been able to meet with Shabiznis and took the stand to testify. Her testimony started out strong and convincing.
What is your opinion as it relates to your evaluation and assessment of Taylor Shabiznis?
My opinion is that she qualifies for the not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. She wasn't responsible for the crime.
No! I'm not trying to hear it. You killed a man, you did the crime, you did the thing, you did your murder dance. Now it's time for you to get put on the handcuffs. You did it. I mean, I don't care. Oh, she got a disability. You need to chill out. Fuck up.
Criminal conduct, because at the time she lacked substantial capacity to both appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct at the time the homicide occurred, but also she lacked volitional control. She couldn't conform her conduct to the requirements of law. She was
Do y'all really think that she didn't know what she was doing as she was chopping this man's body parts up, choking him? Y'all really think that? Be quiet, bro. There's no way y'all think that.
lacking in her ability to control herself, the volitional control.
But then her assessment began to take on a slightly less than clinical level of detail.
And did you talk about her presentation when she presents herself? Do you have comments about that?
Yes, my comments about that are that it's very unusual, what we call presentation. How is she looking? How does she talk? How does she interact? Everything. What's going on in her mind, whatnot. And it's really, really unusual. And I searched my own 32-year memory bank here.
What are you getting at?
It's exceptionally unusual.
How about her facial expressions?
Knock it
Can you
off.
give some commentary on that from what you've seen?
Very unusual. She's been described as smirky. Smirky. She has inappropriate, her grinning, weird grinning when she's talking about the crimes. People have interpreted it to be like laugh.
Whoa, maybe she's evil. Maybe she's evil. Ever thought about that, jackass? Like, you're trying to protect her, bro. What are you talking about?
At what she did, at times, in the jail, with evaluators, with me, at times, briefly, it's very strange. Other times looking, I can mimic it, very scowly. A lot of people interpret it superficially to be grinning. Grinning it all, but getting a kick out of everything. Not me. Based on my experience and training, that's a psychotic person right there. That's what's causing this really weird, bizarre. And I'm telling you, to me, it's off the scale. 32 years. I've seen a lot of psychotic people, bipolar, psychotic, manic, and I just haven't seen very many like this. Very exceptional, very exceptional.
Her non-clinical terminology aside, in her expert opinion, she concluded that Shabiznis suffered from a bipolar disorder, potentially with psychosis, which was consistent with diagnoses Shabiznis had received when she was 14, 16, and 22 years old. But the court ordered psychologists disagreed and again deemed Shabiznis competent to stand trial. Shabiznis' trial finally began in July of 2023. Her defense continued to argue that she should be not guilty by reason of mental defect, and that she may have been suffering from a mental breakdown at the time she committed the crime and when she confessed. Bay also tried to get the sexual assault charge thrown out since Shad was dead at the time she committed the acts and since his genitalia had been dismembered. Seemingly unfazed by any of it, Shabiznis smiled and smirked throughout the trial, including when footage was being shown of her describing how she choked and mutilated Shad's body. She was particularly entertained when the friend they were hanging out with testified and made an accidental pun during his description.
When I got there, we were just chilling, chopping it up, like how we always do. And basically,
her reactions throughout the trial showed yet further callous disregard for the crime she committed and the life that she had taken. 2 court-appointed psychologists testified for the prosecution, noting that since Shabiznis' actions were fueled by drugs, that she was not eligible for the mental defect plea based on Wisconsin law. They also highlighted that her dismemberment of Shad's body, as well as deliberate actions she took to clean the crime scene, indicated that she knew that her actions were wrong.
She knew.
The prosecution also introduced a photo that Shabiznis took before the murder. It showed her next to a photo of Jeffrey Dahmer, a serial killer known for dismembering
She
his
know
victims.
what she's doing.
They also presented...
Bro, she knows she's killing people, bro. I don't care how disabled she is. I ain't trying to make fun of nobody. I ain't even the type to make fun of a nigga like that or a female like that. But you know what you was doing. You knew you killed this man. You knew what you was about to do. Stop taking up for her.
The testimony that demonstrated her fascination with him, including multiple Google searches for his name, photos, and information related to his crimes just days before she murdered Shad. After just 1 hour of deliberations, Taylor Shabiznis was found guilty on all counts. The jury then needed to determine if she had a mental disease or mental defect at the time she committed the crime. Their decision would determine whether she would be sent to serve out her term in a mental institution or prison.
Mental.
So after just 1 more hour of deliberations, the same jury determined that Shabiznis did not suffer from a mental disease or defect during or after the crime. Taylor Shabiznis was going to prison.
Monday.com is the best day.
Hey, that's good for me, shit. I mean, that's good enough for me, shit.
Let me show you some
Get her off the
mind-blowing
streets.
things
That's all we
thousands
need
of
to do.
A sentencing hearing was scheduled to determine for how long. With Wisconsin having abolished the death penalty in 1853, a life sentence was the maximum she was facing. Shabiznis arrived to the hearing wearing a spit mask, reportedly due to some recent behavior issues and for the safety of everyone around her. Such masks are typically deployed as a precaution when there is a risk of the prisoner spitting on or biting people around them. But even with a mask covering the majority of her face, it was clear that Shabiznis's
nigga, they need to send her to that shit where I don't even know what I was gonna say. The place where Joker be at, nigga, that's what she
demeanor had not changed. Behind the mask, Shabiznis's smile at various points throughout the hearing was still evident. Both Shabiznis's grandmother and father testified on her behalf at the hearing. Her father, who was still imprisoned, arrived to court in his orange prison uniform and leg and wrist shackles. He testified about Shabiznis's traumatic childhood, including the death of her mother, and of how her mental health has been an ongoing concern. Shad's father also asked the court for leniency for Shabiznis.
Taylor, I just wanted to say that I forgive you for what you done to my son. I know you made a bad choice, and like I said, I forgive you, and I'm going to ask the judge if he can, if she can see the streets again sometime,
W that.
It may not be soon, but I believe.
If he think that she really is I'm saying, speak for him. If he really thinks she really disabled in the head and thinks she deserves to be free, let it be. That's his son. He's saying it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. He's saying that, not me.
Everybody makes bad choices, and maybe not to this scale, but I think there's a lot of hope for you. I think, you can make use of your time and be a better person and do great things yet, so it does no good for me to hate you, I know you got a heart, I know you got a mind. I wish you no harm, and I hope things go well for you.
But other members of Shad's family were not quite as forgiving, including Shad's uncle, Kelly Therian, who outlined why parole should not be an option.
Don't make no sense to me, even to have the option of parole, to come back and to gain someone's trust like that again. Because that is like the lowest thing a person can do.
I mean, and then I'm seeing it from his perspective. Fuck you. You killed my son, nigga. The fuck? I mean, you killed, my son. The fuck? You think I'm gonna let your bitch ass come back on the streets? Nah, lock your ass up. You going to jail. Fuck you, bitch.
You know what I mean? I just don't understand that. And the biggest thing is, like I said, the help is free and it's there. You chose not to take, I'm sure you knew you had a problem, You can't blame it on childhood. There's help out there. And if you take the path to go get the help, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. None of us would be in this situation. But to take the cowardly path that you did and to make other people suffer because you were suffering is pretty shitty. So that name Taylor Shabiznis fits you well. And I'm not a praying man, but after Judge Walsh's sentence today, I will pray that you meet the same fate as your idealistic Jeffrey Dahmer.
Damn.
So have a good life, Shabiznis.
He said, have a good life, Shabiznis. I hope you meet the same fate as Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, y'all know what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer when he went to jail. He said he hope you meet the same fate, my baby. That's what he said, not me. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy, but hey, it's also your fault, so I don't give a fuck.
Jeffrey Dahmer's fate was being sentenced to 15 consecutive life sentences, but he only served 2 years before being beaten to death by a fellow inmate. The prosecution also asked that Shabiznis not be offered parole, noting that she killed Shad because she liked it and wanted to do it. He referenced Shabiznis's own words to the court, stating, "We have the defendant on page 7 saying, 'I don't have any regrets about what I did, and I do not feel remorseful for Shad.'" The judge sentenced Taylor Shabiznis to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 10.5 years for mutilation of a corpse and sexual assault. He noted that the public needs protection. Given that Taylor Shabiznis was sentenced just a handful of months before the making of this video, there's not a lot of update for today's Z section. She will most likely serve out her sentence at the Techita Correctional Institution, a medium and maximum security women's prison in Fondue.
Hey, and for you freaky niggas that notice up here, notice her up here, nigga. This is for another video. Don't be weird. Now, I know you niggas be weird. You niggas be so weird. Why you looking up a porn star? Bitch, it's a video I'm finna watch, so don't even be weird. Don't even be weird.
Wisconsin, housing about 1,000 inmates. There have been no reports of how Shabizz has fared thus far behind bars. With both of the Shabizz currently incarcerated, their son is being cared for by Taylor's grandparents. Taylor is said to have given up her parental rights so that her grandparents can adopt him. We hope this video did justice to Shad Therian. The judge in the case said it best when he commented that there are no superlatives to describe Shabizz' crimes. We agree, evil and disturbing don't even scratch the surface. What are your thoughts about this case? Are you able to come up with words that describe Shabizz and her cruel actions?
No.
Please share your thoughts in the comments below.
We out!